Hey, what you stand up yourself for? Hey, every night this one comes on up right, this one don't want to move.
Hey humans, it's Hannah. Welcome back to another TikTok video. We're gonna debunk more TikToks today, and I think this is a pretty much debunking all of these today. Well, that's not true. There might be a couple in here that I can't fully debunk, but we're gonna give it our all. Including today, we're talking about the crazy rubber fruit phenomenon thing that is going on everywhere. Like people with rubber watermelons and stuff, which I thought was going to be a really simple explanation, but it's actually not at all. It's wild. So we're going to get right into that. Today's video is supported by a sponsor, so I am going to roll that, but I'll be right back with you. So I don't know about you guys, but I get major pill fatigue. I have quite a few health issues, as you guys know, that I have to take prescription medications for. And because I have to take so many on a daily basis, it often means that I skip my supplements because it's just added pills. I can't add another giant horse pill or a greens powder to my day. It's too much. So for all of my supplement needs, I have switched to Groons, which is kindly sponsoring a portion of today's video, and I'm so glad there are because I'd be using them anyway. That is because Groons is not only portable, but it's convenient, fun, and a delicious way to not only get your multivitamin, but your probiotic and your green supplement all in one little snack pack. All you have to do is take one packet of the Groons gummies every day. There's 8 gummies in this little packet here. But trust me, that will not be an issue because they just taste like fruit snacks. It's not a chore whatsoever. It's really fun and delicious to take them every day. My favorite time to take them is after lunch, and I take them after lunch because I always want a little sweet treat after lunch, but instead of like my daily piece of candy after lunch, I've actually been switching to Groons because it tastes that good. Like I said, it just tastes like fruit snacks. Groons is made with no artificial colors, no artificial flavors. All the ingredients are high quality, natural. The gummies are also vegan. They're made from pectin instead of gelatin. They're also nut-free, gluten-free, and dairy-free. Plus, other multivitamins only have like 7 to 9 vitamins in their supplement, whereas a pack of Groons has over 20 vitamins and minerals and over 60 whole food ingredients. The original flavor, which is the one I get, only has 3 added grams of sugar to it. However, they also have a sugar-free option. And today, for my audience, Groons wants to give you a huge discount. So you can get up to 45% off if you click the link in my description. That's the link right below this video at the top of the description. Thank you again to Groons for sponsoring today's video, and let's get back into it. Also, quick note, this video is actually edited by Taylor. She usually edits my videos on my second channel, on my Scary Story channel, and this is the first time that she's editing this. So Taylor, if you want, you can say hi. I will have her stuff linked down below as well. But just FYI, I actually did not edit this video this time. I think that's the first time ever on my main channel that I haven't edited the video. So I'm excited. Okay, here we go. TikTok 1. This one is from an account called ScareBear0. I've been tagged in this one a lot. I don't think this is his footage though. I think this is him reposting it and reacting to it. Originally, I wasn't even going to include this in one of these videos. I kept seeing it around. I had seen it, but I kept kind of ignoring it just because, I don't know, I thought it was kind of obvious that it was fake. However, I will give it, it is very creepy. Very, very creepy. So let's shut up and let's watch.
I don't scare easily, but I'll need a new pair of shorts after this one.
Okay, so my initial thoughts about this video, especially when you get a close-up, is that this just looks like a person to me. So I guess that's why I'm a little bit confused, because it definitely does not look like anything paranormal. This is primarily proved by the fact that when the light gets shined on them and they freak out and back away like a vampire seeing sunlight, the entity has a shadow. Now, I don't know a lot about ghosts. I'm no expert by any stretch of the imagination, but I do know that they don't cast shadows. My personal opinion on this one is that this is just an actor, or this is somebody from the household that is doing this on the Ring doorbell camera, put on this white gown and some boots, and went out there and started talking in a raspy, quiet, super scary horror movie type voice just to make a viral video. Like, that's what I think. You'll see in the comments a lot, if you go to the original video, that a lot of people are saying that maybe this isn't set up, and it's probably not a ghost, but perhaps it's a quote unquote, not my words, this is a quote, feral people. And that would be because this takes place supposedly in the Appalachian Mountains, or the Appalachian Trail is allegedly where this happened. But I put quotes around that because, like, the phrase feral people just sounds derogatory to me. I don't know if it is, but it just sounds rude. I don't like using that term to describe people, especially because in the media, films like Deliverance, for example, R.I.P. my innocence, we are kind of trained in the media and in society to think that people from the Appalachian Mountains are very hillbilly and, you know, white trash and dangerous and like a weird kind of people. And I just don't think that stereotype is fair in the vast majority of cases. It's giving those people in America, usually people on the left, accusing people in the South of being the racist ones, and oh, there's so much racism that exists in Southern United States, and it's like a way to distance ourselves from that to make us feel better up in the North, to like act as if racism doesn't exist everywhere. Like, it's kind of giving that, in my opinion. Maybe I'm just being pretentious, but it just seems like a weird thing to say about somebody, especially because if this was a random person from the woods, they are clearly not okay. So it's like, I would be concerned about them, not so much making fun of them. That's my two takes. So, okay, off my soapbox. Let's move on to TikTok number 2 for today. This one is from an account called Hollis, and this one's actually not paranormal, but he found the back rooms at none other than the Denver airport, which, of course, as many of you know, I made a video on it in the past. The Denver airport has a lot of conspiracy theories around it. It's said to be very haunted and all of that, so that really adds credibility to this video. So let's watch it together first.
Not me accidentally finding the Denver airport back rooms. Like, this shit just keeps going on and on. The ceilings are all so low. Like, what the hell? Okay, and it keeps going. Yo, where the am I? Like, okay, this says that there's a gate right there, but there's literally nothing right here. This airport is just so fucking weird.
Okay, so this one, again, I think this is a really cool find. There's nothing really to debunk here because I don't think he's lying, but I can confirm that this does not surprise me whatsoever. I have been to the Denver airport before, and I can totally confirm it is massive. It is such a big, intimidating airport, and like, you have to get there super early because there's often an actual like 7-mile hike to your gate. And if there's not, the lines in the security to get through security are often just bananas. So I didn't go down the hallways he's talking about, but it does not surprise me whatsoever. Why I can say that I totally believe him, but why I don't think this is weird is because I've been to another airport before. I think it was LAX. Checks notes. Yes, I was flying back from LAX from Vid Summit in 2022 back up to Seattle, and my gate in LAX was like really far away. It was like the other side of the airport, and I had to walk. It was probably a 15 or 20 minute walk, if I'm remembering correctly, through hallways exactly like this. Low ceilings, weird long stretches where you would not pass by another person, which in almost any airport that's unheard of and very strange, especially at an airport like LAX or Denver that's so crazy and busy. But yeah, I was going hallway after hallway, and I just like kept following the signs, and I felt like I was never going to get to my gate. I felt like I was being led into a dungeon of hell or something like that, because it took forever. But yeah, there was huge stretches. Like, I have no doubt he could have gotten footage of the hallways without anybody there, because there were huge stretches without anybody there, and then you would pass by a couple people. And I think that's because people aren't hanging out in those hallways. They're just going from point A to point B to get to their gate. I think that's why they look so abandoned. Regardless, I love Denver Airport if you ever have a chance to go. The creepy conspiracy theories, I guess, are creepy, but seeing Lucifer in real life was really fun. I got really excited when I got to see him, and it is just a really cool airport. So if you ever get a chance to go and you have extra time, because it takes forever. Okay, moving on to TikTok number 3. This is from an account called Gordon Gears Motor, so let's just watch this one together first.
Wow, a monkey. A monkey on top of the coconut tree. It's crazy. Yep, in Jamaica. Look at his eyes.
Okay, so the whole point of that video is that it looks like a creature. Like, it looks like, I don't know what people are saying it is. He said it looks like a monkey. I think it looks most like a monkey. I think some people are like, oh, it's a skinwalker or something like that. But in my opinion, this is just the pareidolia effect at play here. This is most likely just a stump of a coconut tree or whatever tree this is, and it's cut off at the top, but it's like broken off, so there's all these weird like stumps and angles at the top, especially in the dark with the lighting the way it is. It's probably just reflecting on the tree in a way that makes it look like there's a monkey sitting on top of it. If you look at it through the lens of it just being a stump, I think you can see it. Like, you can see what I'm talking about. And also with the fact that the thing never moves, like does not move, like it's obviously solid, also proves that theory. Okay, TikTok number 4 for today is from an account called Diesel Hill, and this one's not scary at all. This one's just hilarious, but I kept getting tagged in it, so I wanted to address it to give everybody an explanation for it. But this one's so funny to me.
Oh, yeah, it is.
Okay, in all fairness, to be clear, the OP was never saying that this was a ghost. They just posted it asking people for explanations, just to be like, what the heck is this? Apparently, there's actually a very strange yet very simple explanation for this, and that is that some models of microwave back in the day, I never had a microwave like this, did not know this was a thing, but there were microwaves that had record buttons on them, and this person actually does post another video explaining it to everybody. Like, they didn't keep this a secret, like they showed us the buttons. But there were old models of microwaves where you could press a button and record your own voice message on the microwave. Some people were saying that this was so that you could hear your own voice recording instead of the microwave beeps when your food was done. It just seems like such a weird addition. Some of the models even had a radio, like an FM feature, and apparently it was also easy to delete the messages as well and re-record whatever you wanted. This is a very strange feature, but I did find another Reddit post when I was looking this up. I found another Reddit post of somebody unrelated to this TikTok, like they posted it before this TikTok was put up, about how their microwave had a radio and a voice recorder in it. So this is definitely a thing. This isn't like a one-off thing. And this person's microwave must have come with the house. Sometimes microwaves are installed in the house. I don't know if it's like that in Europe, but it's like that in the US a lot. We sometimes don't have to get our own microwave. Sometimes there's like a specific spot for them to be built into the kitchen and people get them installed before they even move in. My best guess is that the previous owners were either recording a message to make the new people laugh or to freak out the new people, so they probably put the message on there. However, OP says that this does only seem to happen when the circuit breaker is reset, so perhaps it's just playing old messages that have been deleted but are still like on the back end, like still saved somewhere in the microwave. Never thought I'd say that. Message is still saved in the microwave. Like, how weird. You learn something new every day. This is what TikTok should be for. Okay, TikTok number 5 for today. This is from an account called Sierra with a C Mist. And oh my God, I have so many thoughts on this, you guys. I'm excited to go over this one with you because this one's wild.
How did you... How did you get out there? Okay, let's try this again.
A few moments later.
There's no way that this is a thing. I don't think you understand. There is zero way that she could unlock that, open it, shut it, and lock it. How are you doing this?
So first of all, a lot of the comments pointed out that the window is open. So one of the windows by the door, a couple windows over to the left of the door when she shows it, is straight up open. And sure enough, yeah, if you look, you could see, especially the second time, that that window is wide open. Doesn't look like there's a screen in there. So everybody was like, the dog is obviously jumping out the window and then going to the door and begging to come back inside. However, in a later video where the same thing happens, she shows that none of the windows are open. She like films that none of the windows are open. However, just because the window being open is not the logical explanation, in my opinion, doesn't mean that I think this is real. I'm actually calling total BS on this video and this account. Now, this person, Sierra Mist, seems like a very lovely person and has been getting great views on TikTok. Like hundreds of thousands, like really good views, like most views that people would want. However, when this video popped off, it had 10.5 million views just as me filming, like just right now. Like it could get more by the time this goes up. And all the ghost videos after that, of course, are doing really well. So the other thing that she has on her side is that she's a vlogger. Like she's always vlogging their life and their family and stuff like that. So it makes a really good reason for her filming. And I actually appreciate that. Usually in ghost videos, I'm always like, okay, why is there a camera set up conveniently right when a ghost seems to show itself? But with her, like, it makes a lot of sense. So like I was kind of on the same page with her for a moment there. But the part that loses me is that this could so easily be set up, and she shows absolutely no proof of the dog doing this herself. There's tons of cuts in her video. She like films herself, she hears a noise, she goes and she's like, oh my God, the dog's outside. How do we know that she didn't just let the dog out, locked the door on it, started filming knowing the dog would like pat at the door to be like, hello, mother, you know I'm out here, right? Like, you know, most dogs do that. And then the second time, again, she cuts, like she does the few moments later SpongeBob thing. So she could have just been like, oh my God, that was so weird. Put the dog back outside yet again, lock the door, and then again, conveniently like, oh, let's try this again and start filming herself. And of course, yet again, the dog like taps on the door to be like, what the hell, mom? If she really, really, really wanted to convince us that this was true, she could. Being a vlogger, I'm sure she has a spare camera that she could set up to be pointed at the door to show some sort of evidence that a ghost is letting her dog out. What I also find very suspicious about this video is that how blatantly she wants to show us that she's trying the door before she realizes it's locked. Like she's very... the door. And then she's like, oh, it's locked. And then has to, like, she really wants to make sure that we see that the door is locked. And then also her putting her hand over her mouth and stuff like that just feels like acting to me. It feels like that was something she was planning on doing. Like she needed to plan out her reaction before she did it. So again, no hate to this mom whatsoever. I want to be very clear. Again, this is just like a fun ghost video. I don't think she's hurting. She's not selling anything. She's not selling anything related to the ghosts anyway, so it's not like she's hurting anybody, but I just want to point out the flaws in these videos. Then there's another video of hers that I actually want to show you to moreover prove my point that this is probably staged. So I'm just going to insert that clip here.
Not on a train, not in a tree, not in a car, not in a car, Sam, you let me be. You... Grandma's such a little prankster, especially when we're trying to put Sprite down for a nap. If you could not, I could not, in a box. Thank you. I could not, would not, with a fox. I will not eat them with a mouse. I will not eat them in a house. I will not eat them here or there. I will not eat them anywhere. I do not let...
Okay, so I have a few questions about that video. If this is a baby monitor, why isn't it facing the crib? Okay, maybe it's not a baby monitor. Let's give her the benefit of the doubt. Maybe she's vlogging. Maybe this is another clip for a vlog to show a day in the life or something like that. Well, if you notice, the camera is set up absolutely perfectly. Why is the camera perfectly set up and wide angle enough so that you could see the light flickering on and off? If this is for a vlog, if this was for a vlog or day in the life, why wouldn't you be closer to the subject of the video, or at least a little closer? Even if you were like, oh, I heard weird noises, so I set up a camera. Again, why would you set it up so far away from you so that you can conveniently see the light turning on and off? Like, it's just some red flags here. Again, don't send hate to this person. Like, her lifestyle videos seem really cool, and I actually randomly started watching a bunch of her other videos because I really like her aesthetic and her style and everything. So again, like, literally no hate to her whatsoever. Like I said, she's not hurting anyone here, but I just want to look at this with a critical eye. The last thing I'll say is, granted, I didn't watch all of her videos, but these clips that she's filming for the vlogs when she catches this stuff on camera never seem to make it in the vlogs. From what I found, again, I didn't watch all of her videos, so maybe I missed it, but like that clip I just showed you, for example, of her reading the book to the baby, like that's not in a vlog or another video that I saw. So again, like, why are you filming that? Okay, harping on that one. Let's move on to TikTok number 6. This one is from Arctic Fox Daily. This one is so creepy, but I love the explanation. We're actually going to watch half of the video first because I don't want to give away the ending quite yet. Some of you might know what's going on here if you are into what's in the video. Like if that's a hobby for you, you might already know what this is. So let's watch the first half first.
Whoa. Like, holy shit, Kimberly. I don't know what that would be from. That or like from a whole decomposed animal. What is that? Here, turn that over again.
It's like blood. This is human hair, Kimberly.
Does it look like human hair?
I'm really scared, like, seriously.
It feels like it could be. Is there more still coming out?
It's full up here. Look, this is a chuck full.
Whoa.
This is long hair.
Okay, we're gonna pause it there before we watch the rest. So this person, by the way, blessed us with the entire video with the explanation. Didn't make us wait for a part 2 or anything like this, but the ending to this video is very funny. But just before we go on, a lot of people at this point were thinking, like, they're talking about calling the police. They're talking about how creepy this is, how they think it might be an animal, but like, how can it be an animal because the hair is so long? Like, could this be human hair? Like, did a murderer use their car to cover up part of their evidence or something? Like, lot going, so creepy. That's what a lot of people think it is at first. With that being in mind, let's watch the rest of the video together. I love this.
The only thing I can think of is like skunk or cat that would match that, but
If there's, I don't even feel any extremities.
oh I wish we knew how to take a car apart.
I wish, but see, you can't. You can't take that apart because it's all full.
What is that attached to? Boys, what is that attached
Doesn't
to? I
that
don't know
attach
anything
like
to.
it's the muffler?
Like, is there something that it could have went in and then?
Are you sure you're not just pulling out the muffler?
Willie, why would this be in the muffler?
Because that's what all mufflers have in them.
Wait, are you serious?
Yeah.
Are you kidding with me right now?
No. Oh shit. So, okay, if you start your car, it'll be really loud.
Wait a minute.
Don't start it while I'm here. Get on your phone and Google what's the muffler made of. It's not very loud.
This is a great video. I got all that. Wait, if that's true.
Oh, sorry. I'm crying. That is my favorite video of all time. I've seen it like 3 times already, and I can't stop laughing every time I see it. It's just the best video ever. I think it's so funny because that's exactly something I would do, where it'd be like, call the police. Not the kid sitting there knowing exactly what it is and just watching them pull out all this muffler hair, and the kid just sitting there going, wait a second. It's probably not that funny. I'm probably laughing way harder than I need to, but I think because it's so relatable, because somebody being like, what are you doing? And then you just look at like, what? Apparently this has actually happened before. I looked it up, and like she said in the video too, there has been articles about people literally calling 911 because they found this stuff in their muffler. And that's literally what mufflers are supposed to have. Like, it's not an accident. Like, obviously you already know that from watching the video, but it's just so, okay, it's just so funny. Can you imagine calling the police and having them come and be like, ma'am, you just fucked up your car? Oh my gosh. Okay, I have to move on. It was a good lighthearted break because that was so funny. Okay, TikTok 7 today. Now we're going to talk about the rubber fruit thing. This video is a little bit longer, the one that we're going to watch, but somebody put together a really good explanation / compilation, and it was from the account. This is what happens next on TikTok, is the account, and put together kind of a good video putting all this together for us. So it is long, but it's not a boring video. I'm going to play the whole thing because it's a really interesting video. So let's watch that together.
For some mysterious reason, in the past few months, there's been loads of videos popping up all over social media of people buying what looks like fake food. It all started just a couple of weeks ago in the United States when several people started noticing that there was something off about the watermelon that they were buying on the supermarkets.
So I got this watermelon up, and I like to rinse my watermelon before I cut it, and it's like peeling. Does anybody has problems with their watermelon like this?
Oh my gosh.
This is the craziest thing I've ever seen.
There are dozens of videos where people buy watermelon from the supermarket and it looks strange. Sometimes it looks like plastic, sometimes it makes these weird noises, and sometimes, or many times actually, it feels as if it's made out of rubber.
So I cut watermelon for my kids, and they're all bringing it right back, saying they don't like the texture. And I've seen enough videos of people posting rubbery watermelon. I can't believe I got one. I got a rubbery watermelon. The texture is so weird. Like, you gotta bend it so far before it will break.
But it wasn't just rubbery. There was something else about the watermelon that was bothering a lot of people.
Okay, y'all, I threw this watermelon out over a week ago. It smelled really good. Bought it from Walmart. Cut it open, and it was like plastic. Tasting it was absolutely horrible. I didn't really know what to do with it, so I threw it outside. This is a week later. It looks like mud. What's going on?
It was pretty obvious that there was something off about the watermelon, and a lot of people were noticing it. But here's the thing, It wasn't just the watermelons.
There you go.
People were also noticing the same thing happening with avocados, blueberries, bananas, and the list goes on.
We got it from the supermarket, but when she opens it and she breaks it in half, it gets very tough and doesn't really break. And when it pulls, it's like it's glue. It's very tight and doughy. It looks very, very fake and Play-Doh.
In this next video, Ari Osborne explains how she bought blueberries in the supermarket. When she gave it to her kid, she noticed that one of them looked like it was made out of rubber. Check this out.
It's left in her little bowl and I put it down the drain for the garbage disposal. And I push the button, you know, it's doing its thing, but there's a clanking and it sounds like something's stuck. So I go in the drain and there's a blueberry that's not breaking apart, it's not. I pick it up and why is there a rubber blueberry in my toddler's snack?
She cut it in half and it actually looks as if it's made out of silicone or something like that. Strange, isn't it? But it gets even stranger. In this next video, a woman tests out the food in the supermarket using a magnet, and this is what happens.
Look at this shit. Put a magnet that I got from here into the great chicken. Let's try for. Look at that shit.
After these videos were posted and became a viral sensation, it made a lot of people ask the same question. Are we possibly eating fake food? What's your take?
Okay, so first, let's talk about the stuff from that video that I can't explain. First, I'd like to address the chicken in the package in the grocery store. It is very clear to me that that person who posted that video was just hopping on the weird food trend, because that's fake. Why are they holding it up like that so you conveniently can't see the back of the chicken? And why does she have to put the magnet in the same place every time? She can't put it anywhere on the chicken for it to stick. It has to be in that exact place. And I would bet you anything that the man with her holding the chicken package up has a magnet on the other side of the chicken so that her magnet sticks to it. I think there's plenty of strong magnets out there that will work and do that. That just has to be what that is, because why wouldn't they show us the back of the packaging to show us that nothing's there, you know? Okay, so moving on to the other thing I can explain, which is the first watermelon that we saw in the video. I think that one peeling was probably frozen, or it was something the way that it was stored, and that's why it was peeling off. The one that was sizzling and stuff was probably just overripe. It was probably sizzling because fruit starts to ferment when it gets too ripe and when it starts to rot. And that was probably what was going on with that watermelon. That's probably why it looked so nasty and was bubbling like a soda inside, because it was probably starting to ferment. What I can't explain is the rest of the like rubbery stuff. I guess the other thing that I also can't debunk, besides the rubberness, the rubbery fruit, is the one guy who put that watermelon out and it didn't rot and it looks like meat and it didn't seem like bugs were going after it either. I don't know. That's creepy. I can't explain that. I don't like that at all. The rubbery food though, so I've seen that banana one around social media quite a bit, where the banana, like that she's pulling it apart and looks like glue or clay or something. I had seen that one around, but I had assumed that it was fake because I hadn't seen any of the other videos. So I thought that maybe it was just that one person who was making an illusion or had a really realistic looking clay banana or something like that. Kind of like people that make cakes that are so realistic you literally can't tell the difference between an onion cake and a regular onion kind of thing. Like I thought maybe it was something along those lines, but I don't think it is, because there's a lot of these videos popping up, as you saw, like the avocados and the watermelon. So I did try to find an explanation, and I'm really sorry to disappoint you. I don't have anything definitive yet. I hope to have something definitive at a later date to update you guys on. But one of the explanations a lot of people were throwing around was that this was 3D printed food. That 3D printers are starting to make food, and perhaps these foods were made in a 3D printer to look extremely realistic, but it wasn't real food. maybe a few of them are like that. There's hundreds of videos like this out there. So maybe a few of the people are faking it, are like making these out of a 3D printer. But a lot of these videos are from like moms and women that are, you know, probably in their 40s. And to me, I just cannot imagine that all of those women and all those moms have access to a 3D printer, let alone have one in their home. Like, they probably don't have easy access to a 3D printer to do that. So I just don't think that can explain all of them. And also, the watermelon's dripping. Like, I guess the 3D printer might be able to do that. But like in all the watermelon's dripping. Like, it looks really, really real. A lot of people are floating around the idea that maybe people are buying fake fruit off of Etsy or Amazon, and it's fake fruit and it pulls apart like this. So they're just buying it and then hopping on the trend by posting videos of their fake fruit that they actually bought, but they're saying that it's from the supermarket. I don't buy that one either, because I Googled, what did I Google? I Googled rubber fruit and then also super realistic rubber fruit, and went to the shopping tab on Google and scrolled quite a bit. Could not find anything that would even remotely look like a realistic enough fruit, let alone something that could be peeled and cut into and then stretched like that. Like, all realistic looking rubber fruit, all that kind of fruit that's for decor, it's plastic. Like, you can't peel a fake banana that's going to go on your coffee table as decor. The mom with the blueberry, like, maybe that was a toy, because that is so clearly silicone or rubber, because she shows us it cut in half and it's glossy inside. Like, clearly that is fake. And I would think, like, well, maybe she got it from one of her kids' toys, like one of her realistic kitchen toys for her kids that they play with, and maybe she's pretending like it was in her kid's snack. But I kind of think that mom is telling the truth. And also, for very little kids, you would not put fake blueberries in their toys like that. It's such a choking hazard. Most kids that want to play with that kind of thing would not have fake blueberries as the toy. It would be like a bunch of blueberries all stuck together. So it was too big for anybody to eat. Because manufacturers know that kids, even if they're past 3, even if they know something's not edible, if something looks edible and delicious, you know, they're going to want to taste it. So I can't explain that one too. And it's a very realistic looking blueberry. Like, how did it get into that package? And then going off the fact that I don't think people are doing this for clout is because on Reddit, I found a few posts about this, but one post where several people were saying that they found the same thing. And these people are not trying to go viral on social media. They have absolutely no motivation to lie about this. They are just saying their experiences on Reddit. They're anonymous. They're not trying to get views or anything like that. And they're describing very similar things. So my personal conclusion right now is that some of them are probably fake, let's be honest, but I don't think all of them are fake. They're just moms trying to give snacks to their kids, and I just cannot imagine a 3D printed watermelon dripping water like that. The only explanation that I could find online is that perhaps it was a storage thing. So some people were saying that food can turn out really rubbery like this if you put a normal piece of fruit in the freezer and it's frozen and then thaws on its own. After it thaws, sometimes it turns out rubbery like that, which I say, where is Anne Reardon when we need her? Because I hope she makes a video about this. She's really good at debunking or explaining stuff like this. Okay, so I put this watermelon piece in the freezer last night. It froze overnight, and then I let it thaw all morning. I wanted to test it out as well. And it doesn't look quite the same, but it is like rubbery in the sense that like it's hard to break and stuff. And it does seem kind of weird texture, but it's not impossible to break. It's not like, it is bending, but I don't know. I wanted to test this out and see if this is what's going on. This is thawed watermelon from the freezer. I'm scared to taste it, but I will, to see if the texture is weird. Yeah, it doesn't taste great because it's been sitting out for so long, but the texture's not that weird. So I'm going to try a banana now. I'm going to do the banana too and see if I can get that same like clay-like texture from the banana. I don't want to waste a whole banana though, so I'm just going to put like part of it in the freezer, and I'm going to mark it with this pen just so that I can, like, I guess just as some sort of, you know, proof that it really is going in the freezer and stuff. I don't know if that really makes a difference. Part of this, you guys are just gonna have to trust me that I actually did this. So here, let me cut this. So, okay. So we're gonna put this part in the freezer, and then I'm just gonna do one line on the one that stays out of the freezer. And then we'll try it again soon. As you can see, totally normal banana. You can see by the markings it's going to be the same banana too, but I have no reason to fake this. But yeah, it's a little underripe, but it is a normal banana. It looks, the texture's not weird to begin with. It all looks fine. So let's put this in the freezer, and I'll be back with you guys. Okay, here's what we ended up with, and this is what I thought was going to happen. But I just wanted to test it out and make sure. But look, there's the X, so it turned black in the freezer. And I'm pretty sure I knew that was going to happen, but that means that the video of the woman opening the banana, it most likely wasn't frozen and then thawed, because this is what happens when you do that. So there's the X, there's the mark, this is the banana before, this is the part that went in the freezer. So let's see what this, yeah, it's like, it's mushy. Let me peel it. This is after it's peeled. It does not look like clay to me, or like the weird texture that it was, and it breaks apart just fine. So I think that whole freezing and thawing thing is debunked. I mean, at least obviously this isn't a good scientific study, so perhaps it was a different way that it's being stored or something that can answer that. I'm still like, there has to be a logical explanation to this, but I personally don't think, based on my findings, that that's the answer. So all that to say that the storage thing seems like the most likely thing. This only seems to be happening in America. Doesn't seem to be happening in Europe and Australia and stuff like that. Lots of people from those countries commenting that they've never experienced anything like this. But I'm in Washington State, I'm in America, I've never experienced anything like this either. I've never had an issue with this. So the only thing I can think of is that it's like a quality thing, like microplastics making their way into our food, along with bioengineering, making it so that if they store it in a certain way, sometimes the fruit ends up like this. That's what I'm going with right now until more information comes out about this, because there's got to be more coming out at some point. Okay, TikTok number 8 for today is from an account Gina with the G 17177. This one is also very, very creepy, and I don't have a definitive explanation for it. However, I have a probable explanation for it. So also FYI, before we watch this, don't worry, there's no jump scare. I know a lot of people worry about that. There's not a jump scare. It looks kind of like they're setting us up for a jump scare, but there's not.
You can't manage a woman there, you know. Every night, I just she can't stand up. And all you say, hey. All you say, woman. Hey. Hey. What she stand up there so far? Hey. Every night this woman comes up right, this one don't want to move. Woman, move. Every flipping night. Move. Every night someone comes up this one don't want to move. Like she's sick in her head. Me not touch her, you know. Hey, move.
Okay, so a lot of people in the comments are saying that this definitely does not look like a real person. It looks like a doll, or maybe it was a scarecrow or something. Like maybe it's to keep predators off this person's yard or something like that. According to the person that posted this video, this thing disappears during the day, which is why people, when they ask him, like, can you film it during the day so we could see what it is? He says that it's gone. He says that the owner only puts it out at night, or it only appears at night. However, somebody in the comments I found on another video of his that was similar, somebody claiming that they lived in the area and that they actually have seen this yard. So this is what they said. This is from Ms. Bougie-ish. She said, "It's a mannequin. His neighbor has a bunch around his yard. Fooled me the first time I drove by." And then when someone asked why a neighbor would have them, she replied, "Ella, I wondered that too. Maybe because it's creepy AF at nighttime, not being sure if it's a person or not." She went on to say that she doesn't have access to film the backyard the way that this man does who posted this video, but she did tell people that she would try to remember to film one day when she drives by to see if she can post what it looks like from like a street view. I did go to her account. As far as I know, she has not posted that video, hasn't had time, or maybe she's like me and feels really weird just filming outside in the open where there's other people, let alone filming somebody else's house. So I don't know what it is. I am definitely inclined to believe Miss Bougie-ish in the comments. Like, I don't have proof that she's telling the truth, but I'm just inclined to believe that because it definitely looks like a mannequin to me. And it could be that this man is just zooming in on only one of the mannequins in the corner to make it look really creepy, to make it seem like there's just a random mannequin facing the fence in the corner and nothing else. And it looks like a person with matted hair that's not moving. When if he zoomed out and showed the rest of the yard, it would make a little bit more sense. Even though that's still really creepy to have a bunch of mannequins set up in your yard, it's probably just to freak people out. I can only imagine the homeowner, perhaps, speculation of course, but maybe they don't have a security system and maybe they can't afford like cameras and alarms and all the security system, but they want a security system. So maybe they set up a bunch of creepy mannequins in their yard to deter people from coming into their property, trespassing, or maybe even to keep solicitors away. Or maybe it is kind of a scarecrow thing, except for people, like it's trying to trick people that would maybe be trespassers or breaking into his house. Maybe it would trick them to think that there's people standing in the yard, or that there's, you know, like the illusion of cameras, or like the illusion of somebody watching you, because even if they're mannequins, they're still like watching you, you know? Like that's the only thing I can think of. Very creepy. This next one is from Yolanda James 0. This does involve a child, so I want to be very, very respectful. Also, everybody, please be very respectful in the comments. Okay, so let's watch that one. Okay, the reason I wanted to address this video is because there's something in it that a lot of people are missing. And like I said, I'm going to be very careful on this one because this is not only a child, but involves a loved one who passed away. And I don't want to speak on whether that loved one is coming back and talking to them in general, because I just don't want to ruin that for somebody one way or another. And I also don't know, you know, I'm not completely closed off to the idea of loved ones coming back to talk to us. And that could be it. Like, if ghosts are real, maybe this dad is coming back and sending them messages and stuff. However, the one particular part of this video that I will debunk is the dress being moved by dad and like the dad's hand, because this is actually very easily explained. I'll have Taylor put it here, but if you slow that clip way down where she gets back up on the stool and zoom in way on her boot is stepping on part of her dress. And then as her boot lets go of the dress, it flings it up. You could see her boot step on the dress in the video. So that part is definitely not paranormal. Like I said, I can't speak to the lights dimming or anything like that. And for their sake, and for all of our sakes for that matter, I do hope that loved ones are visiting us. And maybe he is visiting them and talking to them in other ways. But that particular part of this particular video is definitely not a ghost. Okay, TikTok number 10. This is the last one for today. And I saved some of the best for last. This one's quite the doozy. This is from the account called at KMRJ0623. Before we watch the main video together, I need to show you a video before that because the viral video doesn't make any sense if you don't have this context. So I'm going to insert this really quick 20-second video in here showing you what this account is even talking about.
He's normally facing this way. This is the way that he's been facing. And then we found him facing this way. So I'm gonna put him back the way he was.
Okay, so as you saw, she has a ventriloquist doll that this family suspects is haunted. So for this video, because the video is not very clear, the video that we're going to watch that actually went viral, what we're watching is a Ring doorbell, and she's looking at her back deck, and what we see on the railing in the middle of the frame, middle right side of the frame, is the ventriloquist doll's suitcase sitting on the railing. And then what we're going to see in the video is that it seems as if the ventriloquist doll opens the suitcase and is peeking out all by itself. Not to spoil the video, but it literally doesn't make sense unless you watch it 4 times and watch that other video. So that's what we're looking at here. Okay, let's watch.
Okay, so it's this morning at 12 a.m., 12:06. And then an hour later, nothing. And then you go a little bit further. Then at 2:06, it opens up by itself. And that's his face facing us.
The comments are very split on this one. I have not seen such a 50-50 comment section on a paranormal video in quite a while. It's interesting. The skeptics are saying that it's very fishy, that she won't show us the whole video, that there's a time jump in the video, that it jumps an hour ahead. It does make sense because Ring doorbell cameras, we know this by now, they don't record 24/7 unless I think you have to pay to have them record 24/7. A lot of just the basic ones only record when there's movement detected. So it only picks up when movement's detected. So a lot of people are saying that's the explanation. Well, it's not going to videotape the transition because it only detects movement. But all of us skeptics are but the ventriloquist doll opening up the suitcase and peeking out would be the movement, no? If that's the movement that's happening, why wasn't that part recorded? Conveniently, she skips over that and she doesn't show us that part. And on one frame, it's closed. And the next thing we know, it's open in the video. Basically, us skeptics are alleging that it's likely she went out there and opened it herself and positioned the doll peeking out herself, came back in, and then cut that part out of the video and showed the timestamps. However, other people are arguing that Ring doorbells also lag and sometimes cut parts randomly out. Like we've talked about in the whole time traveler debacle, sometimes people's dogs on their Ring doorbell camera seem like they teleport across the room or across the room or across the yard and stuff because the camera's lagging and it's not a super high quality camera. The creator herself left a comment on a subsequent video saying this. This is no fake. The Ring camera only catches movement in order to start recording, etc. So if this was fake, y'all would see someone. This is playing all the way through. I'm not skipping. But again, I ask, then if it's by movement, why didn't it catch the suitcase moving? The suitcase has to move in order to open. So what are you talking about? That doesn't explain anything. If that's the case, why doesn't she just show us that part of the video? I just don't get it. Anyway, I was sort of undecided on this. I was like, okay, well, maybe the camera really is glitching. If this really happened, that would be so frustrating from her perspective when nobody believes you and they're telling you you're lying. That would be so frustrating. But then I watched another video of hers and that really put the nail in the coffin that I'm positive that she is setting up and faking these videos. So I'm going to show you another clip from her right now. It's very short. So yeah, based on that video alone, I call BS on this whole account because that camera in the bedroom is set up yet again so conveniently, perfectly in a way that somebody could be off camera moving the fan. You can't see the very edge of the fan. Somebody could be inching it along with their hands or with the string very carefully and we wouldn't see. Again, it's just positioned in a perfect way that we can't see the bottom left corner of the screen. And then the door closing could also be explained by the fan's draft closing the door, or it could also be somebody in the hallway with a string attached to the doorknob. Very easy to set up. And again, I always imagine what's outside of the frame. Like, I think that's a good way to look at these things. What is outside of the frame? You know, if something is always moving in a direction that's conveniently where you can't see, it's probably set up. Just all the red flags. Now, to be fair, I never believe that ghosts are really moving anything. I've just never seen convincing evidence. Like, again, even if ghosts are proven to be real, and again, I'm completely undecided. I lean on skepticism, but I am also like, I kind of want to believe, and I do, after hearing so many stories, I do believe that there is stuff in the world that we can't see and can't understand. That being said, I don't think that ghosts are just moving stuff in your house. I've just never seen a convincing video that isn't just very clearly staged. So anytime that happens in videos on TikTok, red flags, all for me. And I simply just immediately assume they're fake. Again, no hate to this woman, no hate to anybody in these videos ever. I will call them out if they're actually doing something unethical, but the vast majority of the time, in my opinion, these are just fun for entertainment only videos. And also, you know, I debunk as best I can, but I can't like 1000% debunk this. I cannot definitely prove that they're faking. I can just tell you my suspicions based on my experience, my knowledge, and my observations. So, you know, like, that's the best we can do. So I could be totally wrong, and maybe some of these people are not faking it. Because of that, that's why I don't want to be too hard on most people when they're not doing anything wrong. I mean, I guess that's subjective to the person, but in my opinion, most of them, if they're not selling something, they're not doing too much wrong, which is foreshadowing for a video I'm going to make in the future. Okay, friends, that is going to be it for today. Please like the video just to support the channel. Don't forget our sponsor, which is Groons, and I will see you all in the next video. Thank you so much to all of the patrons on the screen right now, and y'all have a good one.